All right, guys, we're back in the desert again, and in this clip, and we're working on an area that this looks like bedrock, but it's not. It's actually a caliche bank, and we're trying to skim the top of this thing. And in doing so, we found that it's very damp because we had a quarter-inch of rain in the desert. So we're having to modify what we do, and we'll show you in this next couple clips the way we do it and how we still get good gold. So the material being really damp, see Cheryl pouring his hand onto the grizzly. You can see it's just barely dusting out. We're catching it in the lower pan. There's another pan in your hand, and two more here ready to go. What we're doing, we're mixing it on top of the grizzly and allowing that material to mix there and go down to the ripple. That's the raw pan. Now this is partially dry, so this probably will dust out more than the other one. You can see it's quite a bit more dust. It's not quite dry, but it's really close. Now she's doing the other pan. And again, it dusts out just a little bit more. So running this, we usually do it 2, 3, or depending on how much it's dusting and how many times we'll run it through. So this allows us to run damp material in the desert when it's wet like this and still get really good recovery. Alright guys, this is how we test to see if the material is dry enough to go ahead and run it, and it's not. It makes a ball in your hand, so anytime it's like that, it's too damp to run. So we'll run it through another time, or 2, or 3, or 5, or whatever it takes to get it dry. Okay, this is material that came right out of the hole we're digging in, and you can see how wet it is by the big clod in Cheryl's hand here. That's way too wet. You can't run it. You'll lose 90% of your gold. This pan is also not as bad, but it's still too damp to run. So here we're running that wet material through the grizzly on the dry washer. And Cheryl works it and breaks the clods up on the grizzly so we don't lose a clod off the end, or not as few as possible anyhow. And you can see the dust on the dry washer, but that's from the previous run through there. Now the heavies are coming over the top of that. Now she's going to switch pans and run this again. And it'll be just a little bit drier each time we run it through there, and after we get a couple runs through, she'll test it again with the hand, see if it makes a ball. If it makes a ball, it needs to go again. See, she's checking it here, and it's too damp. Run it again, and each time it goes through here, you'll see that it makes more and more dust. And that's an indication that it is getting drier as it goes through each time, because the air blowing up through it from the bottom is making the dust. Now here she's doing a test, and it's still clotting just a little bit, so it'll run again. This was, I didn't see her hand here. I think this is the 4th run through. And again, you can see there's quite a bit more dust if you look, compare this to the previous clip. It's a lot more work. This is a tremendous amount more work, but your recovery is just incredible. So this is either 4 or 5. She's going to run again, I believe. And it's just not quite. This is 5. So now the material is really dusting well. It's running through the dry washer well, because we're not running at high speed by any means. And we do that for each pan of dirt that we run through there. And you can see that's pretty dry. That's pretty good dry material there.
Okay. We're filming?
Yep.
Hello everyone, we're gonna find some gold. carefully. A new style of dry washing.
That's the quick and easy cleanup. My riffles come out with the riffle rack and the cloth underneath it. That's all one piece. And it comes into our dish pan. And there's our material that we're going to go pan. Okay,
like I got too hot.
We're getting ready to pan here. That's a cat
pot.
litter water jug and a flower pot, so this is the way we always do it. Then we use the 11-inch pans just because it's much easier with this little bit of material we're going to have. Looks like we'll probably have 2 or 3 panfuls. So let's see how this looks.
Fit the whatever size.
Yeah, that is a 1/4-inch screen. Screen it down. Check the screen for
the big ones.
And of course, safety pan, always, especially in the desert when you can't see, your water gets muggy and you don't want to see a big one go off into the pan and then throw it away. It's too hard to work. Now this place is known for really good black sand. Now this is pretty fair, it looks like. Let's see, I lost the pan. Yep.
I don't have my glasses on.
It's okay.
There's a whole bunch of little pieces there.
Yep.
And this is just the first of that. And here's some more super fine. Oh, here we go. Here's a whole bunch of, don't know if we can see it through the camera or not.
Can't zoom on that.
It kind of got a shadow from our camera, but just look how simple that is. And you can start off with your first pan with lots of little pieces in it.
And they're little pieces, that's the key thing. If you don't dry your material like we just did, then you're going to have wet material, and the gold's going to stick in that material and you're going to lose it.
And stick to the rocks that break up, that you break up. A lot of times, even if you can bring them and wash them off into a pan of water, the caliche rocks, you can wash the rock off and get little pieces like that just off of the rock that you've been chipping off.
Yep. Okay, if you watched our last couple videos, you know we were in a spot where we had a lot of black sand. Well, here it is again. That same kind of black sand, and guess what? We're in that same spot and the gold is really good. So we're going to keep digging and keep showing you. Okay, this is the material we're digging. This looks like bedrock. Some of it is, but this caliche over to the left of her shovel here actually breaks up. And you can see where she's scraping here just a little bit and how it comes apart. And what that is decomposed bedrock, and it's underneath it and in it is material, and that's where we're getting the gold, is out of this spot like that. And there's several other spots in the area like this. We're not saying where the area is, but this is really good stuff, and you can actually take a pick to that if you want, and it'll break off in chunks. See how it breaks apart. And if you break it, you can see the dirt right there where her pick hit the last time. Look at the dirt under that, right by the point of the pick. Right up in there. Look at that dirt. That's all underneath that caliche.
Now this is really wet right now, but
that's why we're drying it. We're panning it.
We're panning it, yeah.
All right, that's enough tips for now.
Okay, I'm going to try to zoom in here and show a really good close-up if I can get on it without blurring it. But this is the deteriorated schist layer that's out here in the desert. This is really a cool area that has a gray, and it almost has like a quartzy looking white rock to it when you break it apart. And in places it's actually crystallized. I'm not sure it's going to show on here, but that's what you get when you break through a schist or a bedrock type area where it's real soft and then it has the dirt in there. And hopefully we'll have some nuggets or at least some nicer pieces this time.
Okay, this is a result of gold pan dry washing in the desert, and as you can see there's quite a bit of small fine gold, and that's the problem when the ground is damp. You don't get this smaller fine gold, and especially in this quantity. I mean, this is really good considering we only had probably 8 pans full of dirt for each run, and we only did 2 runs, and we were only about an hour and a half. So this color was really impressive. I'm really happy with it, and hope you are too. I'm glad you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe, and comment. Thanks for watching, and may the bottom of your pan be gold forever.